Hi guys, welcome back. If you're new to my channel, my name is Carmen. Welcome. So in this video, I'm going to show you how you can use numerology to discover if you are ungrounded and what exactly you can do to help yourself to become more grounded. So we can use numerology to determine this because there are some numbers that tend to be a little bit more up in the clouds, not as firmly planted on the ground. And so if you have these numbers in your chart in certain places, then there's a good sign that you will be feeling ungrounded. And so I'm going to show you what these numbers are and where to look for them. And I'm going to show you some easy, simple, common things that you can do to help yourself to become more grounded as well. But let's talk about what being ungrounded is first, and what are the common signs that you're ungrounded. So when you're ungrounded, you're just not completely present in the physical world. You're not completely rooted into the ground and into the planet. You become kind of like a kite, right? So the kite is just kind of flying up in the air and it's not really able to connect to anything. So I like to think of it as a tree. We want the tree's branches to reach their highest potential, right? But the branches of the tree cannot grow to their greatest heights unless the roots of the tree are firmly planted into the ground, right? Doesn't that make sense? If the roots of the tree are not firmly planted into the ground and the soil of the ground, then the tree will topple over. Think of yourself as kind of being like a tree. You need to become grounded the way a tree is grounded so that you can function the best in this world that we live in, and so that your branches can reach the sky, right? And your branches can connect over into other dimensions if you want to do this, right? A lot of people that want to connect over into the spiritual world, they're not able to do that because they are not grounded and they don't even realize this. You need to be fully present in your vessel, right? Your vessel that has been given to you, which is your body. If you are not fully planted within your vessel, then it's not only going to become difficult for you to connect to the world around you and to function at your best capacity, it will be very difficult for you to connect to other dimensions as well. And it will be very difficult for you to have that connection to the spiritual world. And so a storm might come along, but the tree is not going to fall down because the tree is grounded and its roots are firmly planted into the soil. Now, however, think of a kite. A kite is not grounded, right? A kite is just flying and wailing about in the sky, and it's not really connected to anything on the earth. So if a storm happens, what will happen to the kite? The kite will go crazy, right? The kite will be flying about. It will be flailing about. It will go here and there. It will, it won't have any direction. It won't be stable. It will just be knocked around. Unlike the tree that is actually grounded and firmly got its roots into the soil. And so the tree is able to withstand the storm, but the kite isn't. And that's common. That happens a lot when you're not grounded. Something happens, some storm comes along, and it just knocks you out and you can't handle it. So this is one of the important reasons why it's good to become grounded, because when bad things happen in our life, then we can withstand the storm and we don't get ripped apart like the kite does. So the common signs that you are ungrounded are feeling unfocused, right? So difficulty focusing because you're feeling very scattered. So feeling scattered in your thoughts, such as a million thoughts racing through your mind, or feeling scattered in wanting to do different things, wanting to do everything all at once, and not having the ability to kind of focus on one thing. Having uncertainty about things, feeling uncertain about yourself, your life, about the future, feelings of uncertainty and feelings of anxiousness, right? Being anxious about the future or your present situation, feeling anxiety about anything is those are both signs that you are ungrounded. Another key sign of being ungrounded is feeling out of body. So like you're here and you're going through the motions, but you don't really feel quite like you're in your body, or you don't really feel like you're quite in yourself, right? You're going through all the motions, you're living your life, but you just don't feel like you're really present. Any hyperactivity or ADHD or ADD, these are all signs of being ungrounded as well. Any escapist behaviors, such as addictions to certain things, where you're addicted to things, you feel like you can't get through the day or you can't get through the moment unless you have that thing that you are addicted to. Basically, any of those addictions, those are escapist behaviors, right? You're trying to escape the present moment. You're trying to escape reality. And any escapist behaviors are big signs of being ungrounded. A big one is difficulty finishing projects. So you start something and it becomes very difficult for you to finish it. Or you just have a lot of difficulty finishing things in general. A lack of passion or interest in things that you used to enjoy doing. Feeling uneasy with life, feeling lost in life, feeling like you don't have any direction, not sure where you're going, feeling just lost, not feeling like you have a purpose, or, feeling like there is no purpose. That's common if you're ungrounded. A strong feeling to always want to fix things, like you feel like a lot of things are broken and need to be fixed within your life. That's a common sign. Depression and anxiety are big ones. So if you feel depressed about things, one of the big signs that you're ungrounded is always being in your head all the time and constantly just thinking about things. So, thinking about past events or thinking about future events and, just always reprocessing it and going over it over and over and over in your mind. Being ungrounded means that you're not fully in the present moment. And often you are either in the past or you're in the future. If you are grounded and in the present moment, then you're not going to be in your head. You're going to be fully present in that moment, right? So now I'm going to show you which numbers to look for in your numerological birth chart to determine if you are ungrounded, right? To determine if you were born like this, because there are some people that were just born with this energy. But remember, you don't have to have these numbers in your chart to be ungrounded. It's more likely that you will have these numbers in your chart if you're ungrounded, but you don't have to have these numbers in your chart to be ungrounded. If you have any of the signs that I just presented to you right now, then you are ungrounded. The numbers are just used to provide confirmation and clarification if you are still confused. So I'm going to show you how to calculate some of these numbers right now. And it's very, very easy. It only takes a few seconds. And after that, I'm going to show you what you can do personally to help to make it so that you become more grounded. So that is very, very important. Make sure to watch that part of the video. If you already know what these numbers are, then you can go ahead and skip to the rest of the video. I will put the timestamp for that right here. So I'm just going to really quickly show you how to calculate these 4 numbers that we're going to be looking for. If you need a more detailed explanation, you can always check out my video on how to calculate these numbers. I will put a link to that video below in the description box. So to calculate your life path number, all you have to do is take the month, day, and year of your birth and reduce each one of those to a single digit. So reduce your month to a single digit, the day of your birth to a single digit, and the year of your birth to a single digit. Then take all 3 of those and add them together. And then you're going to keep adding the numbers together until you get a single digit. Unless you get an 11, 22, or 33, those are master numbers and you do not reduce them to a single digit. To calculate your expression number, you're going to take the first, middle, and last name that was written on your birth certificate at the time of your birth, or whatever name was written on your birth certificate, because some people don't have middle names, but you're going to take those names and find all of the letters and the corresponding numbers to all of those letters. And then you're going to find all those numbers and just add them together straight across and keep adding them together until you get a single digit. Unless you get an 11, 22, or 33, those are master numbers and you would not reduce them to a single digit. To calculate your soul urge number, you're going to take that same name that was written on your birth certificate at the time of your birth, and now you're just going to look for all of the vowels within that name and the corresponding numbers to those vowels. And these days I usually consider Y to be a vowel. So you're just going to take all of the vowels and the corresponding numbers, add all of those numbers together, and keep adding them together until you get a single digit. Unless you get an 11, 22, or 33, those are master numbers and you do not reduce them. And the last number we're going to look at is the birthday number, and this is actually the easiest to calculate. All you have to do is take the day that you were born on and keep adding the numbers together until you get a single digit. So for example, if you were born on December 14th, the 14th is the day you were born on, you would add the 1 and the 4 together, and that would be a number 5. So your birthday number would be a number 5. Now, if you were born on the 11th or the 22nd, you do not add those numbers together because those are master numbers. But all other numbers can be added together, and you would keep adding them together until you get a single digit. So these are the ungrounded numbers, or the numbers that have a more ungrounded energy. And as you can see, all of the numbers are odd numbers. So 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, master 11, and master number 33. These are the odd numbers, and as I've mentioned before in many previous videos, the odd numbers tend to have a more ungrounded energy compared to even numbers. Now, I will say that I was very reluctant to put number 1 on the list, because out of all of the odd numbers, 1 is the most grounded. So it can go either way with the 1 energy. The main reason I put number 1 on the list is because they do often tend to be in their head processing things, and it can be a very cerebral energy. But I would put them on the list as just being sometimes, right? So they're in the maybe category. Okay, so keep that in mind if you do have some 1s in your chart. But let's talk about why the odd numbers are more ungrounded than the even numbers first. And the reason is because, as I've mentioned in many of my previous videos, the odd numbers are not as stable as the even numbers. The odd numbers have other qualities that make them amazing, right? They have a lot of really amazing qualities about them, but not so much stability and balance. And it makes sense if you think about a table. The table with the 4 legs is going to be more stable than a table with 3 legs. And that's because each leg has another one to balance it out. But if you look at a table with 3 legs, it only has, there are only going to be legs to balance out 2 of the legs. One of the legs doesn't have something to balance it out. So it's not going to be as stable and it's not going to be as sturdy. And so it's kind of like that with all of the odd numbers. Less so with the number 1, like I said. But think of it like a table, right? With the even numbers, there's always going to be an extra leg in there to balance out all of the legs. They all get balanced out. With the odd numbers, there's always going to be one leg that doesn't have another one to balance it out. So this makes the odd numbers more open, right? A table with 3 legs is going to be more open to another leg coming in there to balance out that 3rd leg than a table with 4 legs is. So they tend to be more open and not as rigid, more open to new ways of thinking, more open to ideas, more open to change and transformation. I guess you could say there's a part of them that's always out there searching for that missing leg, right? So more open, but not as sturdy. And when we look at being grounded, it's all about being firmly planted into your vessel and firmly planted into the ground. So those are the key features we look for: stability, sturdiness, and all of the qualities that make you more like the tree and not like the kite, right? So now let's talk about where to look for these numbers in your chart. The number 1 place to look for it is your life path number. That's the most important number because that is your main purpose and kind of like the main lesson you are trying to learn while you're down here. And it often becomes who you are deep down at your core. So if one of these numbers is your life path number, then there's a good chance that you might go through life at certain times feeling ungrounded. And you also want to look to see if one of these numbers is your destiny expression number, or your soul urge, or your birthday number, because these are the 4 most important numbers in your chart. So if any of these numbers are an odd number, then there's a good chance that you might go through life at times feeling ungrounded. And this feeling of being ungrounded increases with the more odd numbers you have in your chart. So the more odd numbers you have in your chart, the more you are going to be feeling ungrounded. And also make sure to check your entire chart, not just the core numbers, but the whole chart, because there's a lot of other numbers as well. And if you have 3 or more odd numbers anywhere else in your chart, so as some of the less significant numbers, that could also be an indication that you are more likely to feel ungrounded. Now, if you are currently in an odd number timing number, such as an odd number cycle or an odd number pinnacle, so some of the bigger timing numbers, even sometimes if you're in an odd number personal year, right? And the personal year is not as big as like a cycle and a pinnacle. But even sometimes if you're in an odd number personal year, you might be feeling more ungrounded. Just being in one of these timing numbers that's an odd number, you could be feeling that way. And if you don't know what your cycles, pinnacles, and personal year number is, it's important to know these because they can predict a lot of major life events. So check out my videos on how to calculate all of these. I'll put links to them below in the description box. So now we're going to talk about some easy things you can do to become more grounded. Because even if you have these numbers in your chart, there's a lot of things you can do to help yourself to become more grounded. And the very first thing that you should do if you are ungrounded is you need to have a daily routine. This is the number one thing that has helped me the most to become more grounded, because I didn't always used to be as grounded. I'm a life path 7, so it's something that I've struggled with my whole entire life. And having a daily routine really was a game changer for me. Especially a morning routine. That's going to be the most important thing. So some sort of consistent routine that you do every single day when you first wake up. Such as, you wake up and then you go and you take a shower and then you brush your teeth and you wash your face and then you stretch and do some meditation. It could be anything, right? Whatever it is that's best for you. But just make sure to do it every single day and be consistent with it, because when you stick to a routine, especially in the morning, that's the most important time to do it, it really does help to ground you and to make you feel like you are part of your life, right? You are inside of your body, you're inside of your life, you're living in the present, you're part of the earth. It really does help a lot. So if you can have a daily routine throughout the rest of the day, that's going to be helpful too, but sometimes people aren't able to do that, so just make sure to have a morning routine especially. Exercising, stretching, and breath work. Anything that helps you to breathe better, right? Working on your ability to breathe correctly, stretching in the morning, and exercising. If you do this consistently, it will help you to become more grounded. Avoiding caffeine, alcohol, and sugar as much as possible. Now, I'm not saying, that you should just completely stop doing these things altogether. This is your life and, you do what you want to do, right? Whatever resonates with you, right? But if you can reduce these things as much as possible, you will see that it really does help you to become more grounded. I've eliminated caffeine completely from my diet, and whenever I do drink caffeine, I realize that this is one of the big reasons I was not feeling grounded. And I've also eliminated alcohol completely from my diet, but like I said, you do whatever resonates with you. Another thing you can do to help you to become more grounded is put your feet onto the ground, onto the dirt, right? Connecting onto the earth. Go outside, walk on the grass, walk on the beach, actually feel the ground. And that is really going to help you to feel more grounded, right? Literally. And a lot of people don't do that. So Getting outside and connecting to nature as much as possible is always going to help you to become more grounded because you're getting more air into your lungs, more fresh air. There are some crystals you can wear or carry with you that are very good for grounding. Black tourmaline and black obsidian are very good at grounding. I wear black tourmaline all the time. It's great for absorbing negative energy. It's great if you're an empath. Check out my video to find out if you are an empath. I'll put a link to it below. But it's great for that, but it's also a very grounding crystal too. And I feel a huge difference when I'm not wearing it. A great technique that I learned from psychic medium Kristen Davies is to ask Source to pull energy through your body, all the way through your body, through the root chakra, and into the ground and into the earth. So you can try it right now. Just ask Source to pull all that energy through your root chakra and into the ground. And you will instantly feel more grounded once you do this. And another way to do this is to just go outside and lean up against a tree, put your back to the tree, lean up against it, and ask the tree to absorb all of the energy, all of the lower energies within you, and to just absorb it and to take that energy and to bring it down and to release it into the ground. And the tree will actually do that. It will take the lower energies that are within you and it will absorb it through its trunk and through its roots, and it will just release it into the ground. Very cool trick. You should definitely try it. And the last thing you can do to help you to become more grounded is using essential oils, and especially the wood scents. So anything that has a wood scent, such as sandalwood, that's really good. Pine, frankincense, bamboo, cedar. I mean, there's just so many wood scents out there that are very grounding. And what you do is just put a few drops in an oil diffuser or a reed diffuser. Or you could just carry the bottle with you and smell it whenever you need to. But it's all really good at helping you to be more grounded. And my favorite is sandalwood. I don't know what it is about sandalwood, but that's my favorite smell out of all of the wood scents. And I just have it in an oil diffuser going, and it really helps me to feel more grounded. So let me know in the comments below if it turned out that you are ungrounded or have difficulty grounding yourself. Let us know in the comments below. And what do you do personally to become more grounded? Let us know in the comments below because it could help a lot of people. And if you liked this video, please give it a big thumbs up and share it with other people. It really helps to get this information out there when you do that. If you want to get a personal reading with me, I will put the information to that below in the description box. You can just head on over to my website, starsalignwithcarmen.com. And I would love to have you subscribe and to become part of the family. You can also follow me on Instagram and Facebook. Thanks for watching. I love you guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Take care.